lights out match. Buddy Colt moving across the ring. It's Buddy Colt and Dusty Rhodes against Paul Jones and Eddie Graham. Four giants of the wrestling world colliding in this squared circle, and the referee watching now. His purpose, count a man's shoulders down or see if he concedes. Anything goes in a lights out match. Paul Jones now wreaking havoc on both Dusty Rhodes and Buddy Colt. Jones and Graham partners in this match. Dusty Rhodes being set upon now by Eddie Graham, who is over in that far corner. And now with all four of them still in the ring, as we said, anything goes. These men well aware of the risks that they took when they agreed to move into this lights out match. No NWA sanction. Graham continuing to move against Dusty Rhodes, and Jones has Buddy Colt in a side headlock. And it's obvious now that Dusty Rhodes has a laceration of the head, and Paul Jones quick to take advantage of this situation. Dusty Rhodes, 280 pounds, a bear of a man, capable of taking tremendous punishment, and that's exactly what he's doing at this juncture of the match. Taking tremendous punishment at the hands of Paul Jones and Eddie Graham. Watch now this teamwork between Graham and Jones. Graham catching Dusty Rhodes, stunning him. And this has to be like hitting an ox right between the eyes. Buddy Colt to the far side of the ring. Paul Jones smashing away at Dusty Rhodes again. And this man Rhodes taking tremendous punishment now. Staggered, dazed, has that great second effort trying to get over to his tag team partner. Again, Paul Jones cutting him short, catching him in the head once again. And Dusty Rhodes' face becoming a crimson mask. Dusty Rhodes caught over the heart, dropped to the canvas, and the crowd roaring their approval now as Paul Jones has his man measured. Dusty Rhodes coming up. Jones continues to measure, pounds away again across the head of Dusty Rhodes. These men able to throw caution to the winds. No rules or regulations to hinder them at this juncture. All right, Eddie Graham moving in now. Catching Dusty Rhodes again, and Dusty continues to take great punishment. Now Buddy Colt moving in from behind, but he's caught in the midsection by Eddie Graham. Graham with the hardest punch in wrestling history drops Buddy Colt to the canvas. Again, we have all four men in the ring. Again, we repeat, this is a lights out match. The referee's only purpose in there to count a man's shoulders down or to hear him concede. And with these 4 minutes, doubtful that anybody is going to concede. Graham pounding away with everything he's got now against Dusty Rhodes, and the crowd once again coming alive as Graham measures him, pounds him across the head again. And Rhodes taking these punches to the head, finally collapses to the canvas, finally moves over, tags up with Buddy Colt. And almost inhuman the amount of beating this man can take and still maintain his senses. Paul Jones watching. Here comes Buddy Colt moving in against Eddie Graham. Eddie Graham swinging from the floor. And these two men now slugging at random. And as again, no rules or regulations, and consequently we have four men back into the ring. Graham getting a side headlock on Buddy Colt. Off of the ropes, he's tripped up by Dandy Jack. Buddy Colt's the new personal manager. Dandy Jack tripping him up. Dusty Rhodes back on his feet. This man has taken a lot of punishment, is still back on his feet. And now Eddie Graham outside the ring after Dandy Jack. And here comes Dusty Rhodes. And it may just be that Dusty Rhodes and Buddy Colt have bit off a little bit more than they can chew in this match. And there's Dusty Rhodes hurtling a chair into the ring, but Paul Jones gets it. Rhodes trying to throw it to Buddy Colt in desperation, but Paul Jones has it. And now both men fighting over that chair. The referee trying to separate them, trying to get that chair if he can. Trying to break it free. And Buddy Colt has the chair, and the referee caught on the head now. Dropped to the canvas. Buddy Colt, a boot to the midsection. Colt drops that chair. He's stunned, and Paul Jones using it with devastating effectiveness on Buddy Colt. Has him stunned on the canvas. Eddie Graham running Dusty Rhodes into the far ring post, and Graham now moves into the ring. Cross body ride on Buddy Colt, and the second referee moving in. A count of three, and Eddie Graham and Paul Jones have won this lights out match, but Dusty Rhodes and Dandy Jack move into the ring. And Paul Jones pounds away at Dusty Rhodes with the very chair that Rhodes threw into that ring. And look at this man in Rhodes. He's almost inhuman, taking those blows over the head and still on his feet. Gets to that chair. Paul Jones hurtled over that top rope. Dandy Jack had put the boots to Eddie Graham, pounding him out of the ring. These men have taken tremendous punishment, but there's no question about it. The winners of this lights-out match, the team of Eddie Graham and Paul Jones. The winners of the match, Eddie Graham and Paul Jones. Jack Brisco can be seen at the far corner of the ring now, getting set to leave the ring, having suffered injury at the hands of B.Colt. Tim Woods substituting for Jack Brisco in this particular match. I might point out that karate is legal, and the good old American right cross is legal. Jones protesting, not wanting to wrestle Tim Woods. It's obvious that Jack Brisco was unable to compete at this point. Jones finally acquiescing and accepting the match with Tim Woods. Start of the match, both men very, very cautious. Now watch Jones, watch that right hand. And he switched using the left hand, and Tim Woods fires back. Again, Jones cocking that right hand for a karate thrust if possible. Tim Woods watching him very guardedly. Again, Jones trying to use karate, trying to find an opening. Tim Woods harassing him now, keeping that left hand busy now. Woods using a forearm smash very effectively. Jones down to the canvas. Woods in for a pin. Jones kicks out, and once again, look at that right hand. Tim Woods very cautious. Keeping that right hand tied up again now. Woods utilizing the elbow and a good looping right hand to the chin of Paul Jones, had him down. Again, Jones moving in. The end of the corner now, and it's Woods with a front face lock. Has Jones down on one knee. Referee checking. Again, catching him. There he catches Tim Woods in the lower abdomen with a karate thrust. Has Woods in a lot of trouble. Woods on the canvas. And Jones using an oriental claw that I was not familiar with. I didn't realize that he was familiar with utilizing this particular hold. Still utilizing it. Wood finally breaks free, catches Jones with an elbow coming off the ring ropes. Jones utilizing the ring ropes at that time, escaping the count. The collision between both men has both of them in a semi-conscious state. Jones whipping that karate thrust again, but Woods ducked out of the way, was not hit. And there the referee was caught accidentally by Tim Woods as Jones had him up for a full body slam. The referee trying to come to his feet now. And now you'll see the referee caught by Woods again, but once again at the hands of Paul Jones. Jones trying to deliver a karate thrust to Woods, caught the referee instead. The referee is down and out at this point. Tim Woods taking a lot of punishment from Paul Jones. Referee still unable to function effectively as an official in the ring. At this point, Jones does have Tim Woods down, obviously for a 3 count, but the referee is unaware of this. The referee trying to get to his feet. Now Jones going over to the referee. Woods recovering slowly. Jones trying to get the referee up. Woods seizing an opportunity. Hooks Jones. Excellent cover. Has him in a pinning combination. There you see one of the wrestlers, and it appears that might have been really correct, moving into the ring to... Well, Glenn, there we see the man we're talking about. 6-time world heavyweight champion Thesz shaking hands with Johnny Valentine. Valentine has held the U.S. heavyweight championship, the Southern heavyweight championship, one time co-holder of the World Tag Team Championship. And note the caution that both of these men exercise toward each other. Each respects the other for his ability. Thesz, campaigning now in the United States, had an extensive tour of the Orient before returning to professional wrestling. He really never left it. He was in semi-retirement, obviously in tremendous physical condition, on a strict regimen now. Notice Valentine trying to cross that arm across the throat, and Thesz fighting fire with fire, catches him with a short forearm smash. Referee warning him, and Thesz explaining his purpose behind it, obviously. Again, Valentine moving in. Valentine, an awesome wrestler. Enjoys inflicting punishment on his opponents. And the more you hurt Valentine, the more he seems to fight back. Again, collar and elbow. And again, watch Valentine coming across the throat of Thesz, trying to cut off that oxygen supply. Both men seeking balance, and it's Valentine. A single leg dive. Thesz in that 4-point stance, able to break free as Valentine could not maintain the ride. And Thesz again using that forearm smash. It drops Johnny Valentine to the canvas. This, of course, an extremely controversial match. A controversial and disputed pinfall, as we will see in just a moment or two. All right, Thesz bent back over those ropes by Johnny Valentine. And watch Valentine, one of those big sledgehammers across the chest. That stuns Thesz. Again, Thesz caught with that sledgehammer, but he fires back. 2 good forearm smashes, a third, and Johnny Valentine rocked backwards now. Caught in a side headlock. Thesz caught in the head. Valentine moving up, and so is Thesz. Both men, excellent recuperative powers. Thesz hooking that arm. Now watch Thesz. He'll start a softening up process here on Johnny Valentine, and in just a moment we're going to see that disputed pinfall. I might just point out, although it was a disputed pinfall, Thesz says he wants Johnny Valentine anytime, anywhere. There you have the disputed pinfall, and the referee did not see it. Consequently, the winner of this match is Johnny Valentine.
Jack Brisco dealing out some punishment to B.Colt right now. Brisco trying for a pin. Colt using the whip to his advantage now. The referee signaling Jack Brisco that B.Colt had 1 foot outside the ring. Colt taking a lot of punishment from Brisco. Caught squarely in the back that time. The referee moving in. Brisco watching his man. Decides not to try for a pinfall at this point. Brings him up to soften him up a little more. A full body slam. Now Brisco going for the figure 4 leg lock, and he starts to get it applied, tries and can't get it over, and B.Colt makes it to the ropes. Colt utilizing those ropes very effectively. Here you see Colt delivering a thumb to the throat of Jack Brisco. And this slowed Jack up considerably. Colt moving in again. And now watch B.Colt as he grabs the arm of Jack Brisco in the same manner in which he broke Johnny Walker's arm, whips Jack Brisco's arm into the ring post. The referee warning Colt. And Brisco, and obviously in intense pain at this point. He has not yet conceded the match. Again, Colt going after that already injured arm. And he missed that time with an elbow as Jack Brisco rolled out just in time. Referee again checking, and Jack Brisco not conceding, still very much after B.Colt. And now attempting to retaliate, trying to drag Colt outside the ring. Gets him to the outside ring apron, whips his arm against the steel post. Colt trying to get away now, trying to escape. Kicks Jack Brisco in the face. Brisco down outside the ring, and Colt trying to regain his feet. Now Jack Brisco coming back into the ring. Colt moving in on him again. And again, B.Colt grabs the already injured arm of Jack Brisco, drags him over toward the ring post, smashes it against the ring post again, and Colt suffering pain himself. And that's 3 times now that Jack Brisco's arm has been whipped against that ring post. The referee trying to stop him, unable to do so, as Colt slams it into that ring post for a 4th time. And the referee declares Jack Brisco the winner.
4 giants of the wrestling world competing now. Jack Brisco out there against Johnny Valentine. It's Jack Brisco and Paul Jones against Valentine and B.Colt. Brisco looking in superb condition. Tremendous timing, and Brisco now has Valentine up against the ropes. Watch the tremendous respect that both men have for each other. Very cautious, but watch Johnny Valentine coming up with one of those big sledgehammers. Jack Brisco retaliating. Again, another sledgehammer from Johnny Valentine, and Brisco beginning to feel the pain in that left arm. Again, Johnny Valentine moves in, drives Brisco up against the ropes. The referee calls for the break. Again, Brisco being very wary now, being very cautious. Johnny Valentine moves in with that sledgehammer. Brisco fires back. He has Valentine staggered. Valentine moving back, almost caught by Paul Jones. The referee becoming somewhat upset over this match. All right. It continues to be a double tag now with Buddy Colt out there against Paul Jones. Colt has Jones in the side headlock. Looked like he wanted to go with that thumb to the throat, caught by the referee. The referee calling for the break. Again, as we said, 4 giant gladiators in here, and now Jack Brisco makes the tag with Paul Jones goes up into the air for a flying drop kick. Colt hangs onto those ropes. Brisco is down and hurt. He's hurt that hip. And Colt moving in very methodically now, the side headlock. And it appeared to be a thumb to the throat, another one, and Brisco is down and in trouble. A knee lift to the side of the head. Jack Brisco taking a lot of punishment. And now Johnny Valentine tags in with Buddy Colt. And Valentine with another one of those great big sledgehammers of his, driving Jack Brisco into the canvas. It's Brisco caught again that time. An elbow from Johnny Valentine. Valentine in the lighter blue trunks. The tag is made. Paul Jones tags up, and Valentine catches Jones coming in. This man Valentine is awesome in the ring. An elbow across the throat, and now watch as he duplicates this on Paul Jones. Has both of these men in serious trouble now. Johnny Valentine going up again with that big elbow, but Paul Jones rolling out of it. Jones back on his feet. A good double leg dive by Paul Jones. Now Paul Jones going into that Indian deathlock. Buddy Colt moving in, trying to break it up if he can. The referee stopping him. Now Colt concentrating on Jack Brisco. Brisco crashes into the referee, and Paul Jones has the Indian deathlock on Johnny Valentine. But watch Buddy Colt going up to that top rope. The referee unable to see this. Brisco covering Paul Jones, protecting him. He was unguarded at that moment. Colt coming down across the back of Jack Brisco. Brisco suffering an injury at this point. And now Buddy Colt concentrating on Paul Jones. But Colt did accomplish his purpose. That Indian deathlock was broken on Johnny Valentine, is held by Paul Jones. Now Colt pounding away at Paul Jones. Jones firing back. Colt moving in against Jack Brisco. Valentine still holding on to that injured knee. And Colt now having a field day with both Brisco and Jones in trouble in the ring. And now Jones moving in behind Colt. Catches him in the rolling reverse cradle. The count of 3, a fair count of 3, and Johnny Valentine recovers sufficiently to deliver another elbow to Paul Jones. And now you see Buddy Colt hauling Paul Jones outside the ring rope, trying to catch him on the ring apron, deliberately trying to add further injury to his arm. And now this is the same tactic that cost Johnny Walker 2 broken arms. Note now the way Colt has Paul Jones's arm up against that ring post, whipping it against the ring post. Jack Brisco moving out, trying to render assistance as Buddy Colt again attacks the arm of Paul Jones. Brisco trying to break free is caught by Johnny Valentine. Meantime, Buddy Colt continues to wreak havoc on Paul Jones. So obviously, Colt is interested more than just winning the match, which he has not done. He's just lost the match. Paul Jones scoring the pinfall. He was trying to permanently injure Paul Jones. But there you see the winners, Paul Jones and Jack Brisco. This tremendous over-the-top rope battle royal now in progress. There you see Man Mountain Mike. Also Ron Fuller, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, on the right of the screen now, has a head scissors on Buddy Colt. Buddy Colt trying to get Ron Fuller over that top rope. Paul Jones pounding away at Yoshihari. There's Dale Lewis moving in now. Buddy Colt caught in the midsection, caught again by Paul Jones. Jones, of course, has no love whatsoever for Buddy Colt. You see the Saints in there. Tim Woods. A tremendous over-the-top rope battle royal. Over $8,000 involved. Now moving along into the match. Only 2 men remain. Only 2 men left now. Paul Jones and Buddy Colt. And Paul Jones pulling out all stops at this point. Paul Jones wanting to settle the score with Buddy Colt. All right, Paul Jones pounding away at Buddy Colt. Paul Jones's face a crimson mask. Colt staggered again by Paul Jones. Colt trying to move away. $8,000 plus riding in this battle royal. Only 2 men remaining. Those 2 men, Buddy Colt on the canvas, Paul Jones on his feet. Paul Jones weakened by this match, tremendously fatigued. So is Buddy Colt. A grueling match all the way down the line. 18 men have gone over that top rope, and Paul Jones now continues to pound away at Buddy Colt. More than a match at stake here. The tremendous animosity. Now, Buddy Colt has been known to carry a foreign object in his trunks. Goes after Paul Jones, and Jones upends him over that top rope, and that means that Paul Jones wins the Battle Royal. It was right after the Battle Royal that I talked to Paul Jones, and he said he wanted Buddy Colt for the Florida Heavyweight Championship, and they would gladly put up the $8,000 plus that he won in this Battle Royal if he could just get a Florida Heavyweight Championship match with Buddy Colt. There's Hiro Matsuda now, and look at this tremendous bridge by Bob Orton Jr., second-generation wrestler, and a good move by Matsuda again. And Don, here are 2 obviously superiorly trained athletes.
Yeah, they're in tremendous condition. They're very powerful backs, and of course the bridging and suplees and modern wrestling, it calls for that kind of subtlety.
And there you see Matsuda, that foot outside the ropes. Orton had him in a predicament there, no question about it. In fact, Orton thought he had the pin, but he did not. It was only a count of 2. Matsuda, I might say, did not deliberately throw that foot out either. It was just the angle of attack. Now Matsuda with a good leg dive, and thus far, some great scientific wrestling.
Certainly is. Of course, with a great background Bob Orton has gained from his father. You see an awful lot of his moves, very much like, in fact, the leg dives and leg pickups and so forth that he uses. You can practically see his father's moves in it. And watch him wrestle, you just see that echoes that training.
Well, Bob Orton Jr., of course, a 3-time state AAU champion, and the odd thing about it, 3 times in 3 different states.
Right. Every place he went, he was feared. You saw that sweep in there when he went in after that leg. It was just a beautiful takedown. Very quick, and of course here, realizing he's going to get into some trouble, look at the way he fights out of that one.
He was in that standing guillotine, and Matsuda went through those ropes back into the ring in a forearm smash that rocks Matsuda this time. Matsuda, who once defeated Danny Hodge for the Junior Heavyweight Championship of the world, and now having his problems here with Bob Orton Jr.
Of course, he'd had some problems, but there again, notice the tremendous power and the drive that he's got. When he hits him with those elbows, very effective. And that's another sign of that Orton training.
Matsuda opening up a little bit. Some Oriental tactics here that drops Bob Orton Jr. Matsuda whipping him into the ropes. And a good move by Orton.
Again, another one of those suplees becoming so popular, so effective. And of course, one of the masters of this sort of technique was Matsuda, and he'd run up against his own weapon.
Speared into a backflip, and Matsuda down again. A big elbow across the throat of Hiro Matsuda. And this would, this would probably spell the end for the average competitor, but Matsuda can take a tremendous amount of punishment. He has a very high threshold for pain. Again, Orton trying for a pinning combination here, and again, a full body slam crashing down on top of Hiro Matsuda, but Matsuda continues to fight his way out, and this is where stamina and perseverance pays off, Don.
And an awful lot of training. You know, he does 1,000 squats, and he's got that sleeper hold, and that's good. This is a powerful thing in the hands of this Japanese style of wrestling.
Well, of course, that's where the sleeper hold originated, and Don, you certainly were an expert in that field when you were wrestling.
Well, it was the Japanese that taught me how to apply it, and I have been knocked out with it, and it's a tremendous sensation, and to be able to fight like Orton's fighting is remarkable.
Well, as I said earlier, of course, two superiorly trained athletes, both of them great condition, and excellent move, hooks him inside, rolls him up into an inside cradle, has that count of three, and Bob Orton Jr. Has been pinned, and the winner of this match, the former junior heavyweight champion of the world, Hiro Matsuda. And there's Cowboy Bill Watts moving over, apparently offering some suggestions as to how to make Jerry Brisco submit. Dory Funk Jr. even distrustful of this man, Cowboy Bill Watts. Watts sits down now in Dory Funk Jr.'s corner. A discussion going on with the referee. Now the match underway. Dory Funk Jr. face lock on Jerry Brisco. Mind you now, pins do not count in this match. The only way you can win the match is by a submission hold. And now Jack Brisco, the world heavyweight champion, who is scheduled to defend his title later this evening against Cowboy Bill Watts, moves down to ringside and quite obviously concerned over the fact that Watts is in Dory Funk Jr.'s corner. This match really beginning to take its toll on these two competitors now. Now, Dory Funk Jr., the former world champion, goes into the abdominal stretch. Jerry Brisco, now Jack Brisco watching very concerned, supplying him from outside of the ring. Jerry Brisco badly stunned. Dory Funk Jr. moving slowly now. Driving that knee into the side of the jaw of Jerry Brisco. Jack Brisco watching it, obviously with more and more concern. Jerry Brisco able to move out of the way that time as Dory Funk Jr. tried with the elbow. At this point, he had been tied into the ropes for several moments, and Dory Funk Jr. had really been belaboring that left leg, catching him in the ham itself, the upper thigh muscles, and really applying a lot of punishment to that leg. You can see Jerry Brisco hanging on for life now, and again, Dory Funk Jr. applying more pressure to that leg. And this, of course, is the hold that won him the World Heavyweight Championship here in Tampa from Gene Kiniski, the inside spinning toe hold. And he's Jerry Brisco putting up with tremendous pain, agonizing pain in that already injured leg. And now Dory Funk Jr. wanting to mete out more punishment. Crashing down on the upper thigh, crashing down again. And that knee is beginning to swell badly. Now watch Dory Funk Jr. And see now where that knee is very close to coming right out. And it's obvious here that Jerry Brisco is not going to concede if he can possibly help it. It reminds me of about 2 years ago when Dale Lewis had the Lewis lock on Jerry Brisco. He refused to concede. He would not concede. His shoulder was torn out and he was out of wrestling for several months. And I'm sure that memory is coursing through Jack Brisco's mind right now. Dory Funk Jr. throwing caution to the winds now, inflicting punishment and pain. And Jerry Brisco, grimly determined, is not conceding, tries to kick free, but he can't. And Brisco, just in desperation, you can see his mouth in a silent scream as that pain courses through his body, but he will not concede. And And this is the same Jerry Brisco that refused to concede once before in his career, and it almost ended his career. Jack Brisco could take it no longer. He signaled for the bell, moved in to separate Dory Funk Jr. Now Dory Funk Jr. catches Brisco. And of course, the animosity between the Funk family and the Brisco family is nationwide as far as its infamy. And now, two men here in a slugfest, the world heavyweight champion, taking a tremendous risk here. A tremendous risk. He has to defend the title. There's one match following this, the Mongolian Stomper in a match following this. And now, Dory Funk Jr. with that inside spinning toe hold on the world heavyweight champion. And Jack Brisco. This may be all she wrote for the world heavyweight champion. Cowboy Bill Watts steps into the ring, knowing full well that another match precedes his. And yet now he wants the referee to ring the bell and start the World Heavyweight Championship match right now with the World Heavyweight Champion down on the canvas with an injured knee. And look at this. This man Watts, who believes he's on an island unto himself, now trying to get this championship match one match early because he realizes the tremendous physical advantage he'll have over the champion at this point. The referee again telling him that no, there is another match before this. And Jack Brisco, the world champion, leaving the ring now in a wise move on his part. I'm sure he intends to head to the dressing room to have that knee packed in ice. Moving out now to help his brother, Jerry Brisco. And Gary Hart moves up at ringside along with the Stomper who is scheduled in this next match. And Watts wants Hart out of the way, wants the Stomper out of the way. Jack has Jerry Brisco back on his feet. We're taking him back to the dressing room. Now watch as Gary Hart, Watts shoving Hart, pushes him through the canvas. And there's Hart giving the order. He gives the order. Bob Roop, Pearl Harbor's. Cowboy Bill Watts catches him from behind, and now the Mongolian Stomper after him at the direction of General Gary Hart. Bob Roop has Cowboy Bill Watts up for a shoulder breaker, crashing him down to the canvas, and now the Mongolian Stomper beginning to throw those boots into the head of Cowboy Bill Watts. Watts being held now, pinned by both Gary Hart and Bob Roop, and the Stomper having a field day here, putting those size 14s into the head of Cowboy Bill Watts. Watts, the Florida heavyweight champion, who said he would give up his title if he could get a chance at Jack Brisco, prone on the canvas. And Bob Roop continues to deliver punishment and pain to Cowboy Bill Watts, driving that knee into the throat. Watts is inert. He's helpless. Now watch Roop. Rolling Watts outside of the ring, booting him outside of the ring. Cowboy Bill Watts almost destroyed by Bob Roop in a Pearl Harbor attack. Three men, Gary Hart, the Mongolian Stomper, and Bob Roop, attacking Cowboy Bill Watts, Pearl Harboring him from the back. And there's the man who thought he was an island unto himself, definitely out of action for the night. These men have been wrestling now approximately 52 minutes non-stop. I just point out for you young amateurs who have wrestled in 3 3-minute rounds, you know how grueling that can be. Imagine these two men going almost an hour at this point, non-stop, and still obviously in top peak condition. There you see 6 times world heavyweight champion Thesz, the special referee appointed by the NWA for this match because of its importance. Play by Dory Funk Jr., the former champion, has Jack Brisco on the canvas. That central nervous system jarred, but Brisco powers out. And there you see the referee, Thesz, indicating no, not a 3 count. A 2.5, but not a 3 count. Dory Funk Jr. wanting that World Heavyweight Championship. A good backslide by Brisco as he blocked the suplex. Dory Funk Jr. rolling out of it now. Dory Funk Jr. hitting that ring post, crashing into it with his shoulder, and he's got problems. And now Jack Brisco, apparently firmly in command, moves against Dory Funk. And now the temper's beginning to flare. The family feud between the Funks and the Briscos is known worldwide. And now Brisco pounding away, the referee telling Jack Brisco to break it up. He's onto those ropes. And a man certainly with Funk has been lacerated, and now you see the former champion Thesz pulling him away, completely unbiased referee. And now the match is beginning to turn as Jack Brisco seems to be more and more thoroughly in command. Dory Funk is dazed and staggered at this point. And this, of course, the incident we're talking about. Here you see Jack Brisco, Dory Funk Jr., trying to get him back into the ring, and the referee has started to count momentarily, and Dory Funk Jr. desperate now, trying to get Brisco into the ring. Brisco has been hurt badly at this point. Dory Funk Jr. eager for that championship, lateral body press, and the referee, Thesz, making a judgment decision here, a judgment call on the part of Thesz, 6 times world heavyweight champion, realizing that he was partially responsible for what happened to the world champion, taking that responsibility on his own shoulders. In a moment, he's going to do an unprecedented thing in professional wrestling. An unprecedented move and there you see Dory Funk Jr. applying more punishment now, that spinning toe hold that brought him originally the World Heavyweight Championship. Thesz now asks for the microphone, and let's see if we can't pick up his comments.
I was appointed by the National Wrestling Alliance to review this match impartially. I think that I would partially be blamed for the injured. I'm going to declare a 2-minute moratorium. This man will get a 2-minute rest, and that is the story.
There you heard it, as I said, an unprecedented move by an NWA referee declaring a 2-minute moratorium in a World Heavyweight Championship wrestling match. An unheard of thing, but certainly, in this reporter's humble opinion, certainly a wise and just move by Thesz. Now Jack Brisco, who seemed to be firmly in command earlier in the match, and right up to these closing moments until this unfortunate incident occurred, now having his problems. The moratorium is over, and it is Dory Funk Jr. closing in on him again, and Funk realizing this is his greatest opportunity to regain that World Heavyweight Championship. Look at Funk now as he closes in now. Calmly, methodically, and Brisco, desperation, trying to move away, trying to get on a bicycle that doesn't exist, trying to escape. The feet, the hands, the arms of Dory Funk Jr., the former world champion. Brisco writhing in agony now as once again Dory Funk Jr. goes into that famous spinning toe hold that brought him the World Heavyweight Championship. And Brisco still hanging on, and of course this match has taken its toll on Dory Funk Jr. too, no question about this. It's been a grueling match for both men. You can see the pain, the desperation, the fatigue across Jack Brisco's face as he hangs onto those ropes now. Dory Funk Jr. bringing to administer more pain and more damage to that leg now. All right, Dory Funk Jr. moving back inside. Jack Brisco holding on. There's no question about it here. The champion is holding on. The referee separating him now. Brisco is not fully into the ring. The referee giving him every opportunity to get back into the ring. And again, Dory Funk Jr. moves in. Now watch Funk break the play of tremendous physical endurance here as he brought him up into another play. Brisco again fights his way out. One has to give both of these superb athletes all the credit in the world for the stamina, the determination, the self-sacrifice that brought them to this apex of their careers, the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, Dory Funk Jr. moving in. He's grim and relentless in his quest for the World Heavyweight Championship. A lateral body press, and again, that second effort, that tremendous fighting heart of Jack Brisco, and he's operating primarily on instinct now. Fires away to the midsection, fires away again. Still firing away. Neither man now at this point able to gain the advantage, and Jack has gotten that adrenaline going again. The bell has rung. The bell has rung. The match is a draw. The match is a draw, but Jack Brisco, with that adrenaline flowing, wants more of Dory Funk Jr., but the match is officially over. An unprecedented match in World Heavyweight Championship history. There's Funk after him again, but the match is a draw, and Jack Brisco retains the heavyweight championship.
Tony Charles, the British Isles champion, is perhaps one of the smoothest, one of the fastest competitors I've ever seen in action. He's had a great amateur background and has a tremendous array of holds that he uses on opponents. We're going to see Tony Charles, the British Isles champion, in action against a man who outweighs him, but Tony Charles is much, much faster. I think you're going to enjoy this match between the British Isles champion Tony Charles and Big Jim Brooks.
Tony Charles, the British Isles champion in the black trunks, going up against Big Jim Brooks now. Charles giving away some weight here, but extremely fast, a very, very agile man. Brooks complaining to the referee, but there was obviously nothing wrong with the method in which Tony Charles took him to the canvas. Tony Charles in the peak of physical condition. You can see the obvious shape that he's in. Great muscle conformation. Charles moving around the ring. Moving very lightly on his feet. He has an amazing capacity to throw an opponent and maintain a hold at the same time. We might see an example of this in a moment or two. Wrist lock, and Brooks trying to maintain his feet, trying to maintain his balance. Referee checking Charles briefly, however, apparently found nothing amiss at this point. Charles continuing to apply pressure and leverage. And again, this time the referee, thinking that Charles may have been pulling his hair, caused the break. Charles did not argue about it, went ahead and broke. Look at the speed with which this man moves. And again, Tony Charles now has Big Jim Brooks in trouble. The man is a cousin of Dick Murdoch's, Brooks. Tony Charles dropping those shoes on him now, and the referee once again warning Charles. Charles moved back to the other side of the ring. Brooks coming in. A little slowly, favoring that leg. Watch Tony Charles, good stance, watching his man carefully, moves in. And again, moves quick as lightning. Has Brooks on the canvas now. Keeping him tied up. Tony Charles is yet to be defeated since arriving in Florida after successfully defending his British Isles Championship twice. And on a very obviously triumphant tour throughout the United States. He is from Wales, actually. He's a Welshman. Brooks trying to make those ropes now, trying to get to that ring rope if he can. Tony Charles has him back on the canvas now. Referee checking once again. Tony Charles keeps him on the canvas. Jim Brooks trying to break free. Let's see here. Brooks regaining his feet at this juncture of the match. Tony Charles catching him under the arm and on the side of the neck. Once again, Brooks tries for those ropes. This time he makes it. The referee will be forced to call for the break. He does. A good, clean break by Tony Charles. Tony Charles, watching his man, moves very, very swiftly. Good leg dive. Dropped under those arms very quickly, in for a leg dive. Now coming across the upper thigh. Now watch Brooks There's Charles, and you see he was dumped, but he maintained a hold, rolling up on a form of a cradle, and a fine victory for the Pretty Trials champion, Tony Chara.
Until next week, then, this would be Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.